Jack Nicholson is often remembered as Hollywood's unpredictable genius, a man whose energy and presence could fill any screen. But his brilliance wasn't something that happened by chance. It was built over decades of observation, relentless curiosity, and admiration for a select group of actors who inspired, challenged, and sometimes intimidated him. At 88, Nicholson has opened up about 6 performers who shape the way he approaches his craft, teaching him lessons about intensity, subtlety, and truth that no classroom ever could. These are the actors who left a lasting mark on his performances, forcing him to rethink what it means to act with honesty and power. Discovering who they are will make you see Nicholson and his genius completely differently. 1. Robert Darrow, the blueprint of silence. At the very top of Nicholson's list is Robert Darrow, an actor whose subtlety terrified and inspired him. Unlike the flamboyant stars of his era, Darrow wielded silence as a weapon. Nicholson once said, "Darrow says more with silence than others say with monologues." In a world obsessed with volume and bravado, Darrow's quiet mastery became Nicholson's blueprint. Watching him in films like Taxi Driver and Raging Bull, Nicholson marveled at how effortlessly Darrow disappeared into the streets, the camera, and the moment. When Nicholson played Frank Costello in The Departed, he felt Darrow's shadow still on set, guiding the performance with invisible authority. To Nicholson, Darrow represented disciplined danger. Every pause, glance, and breath carried meaning. Though the rarely shared scenes, Darrow's presence influenced decades of Nicholson's performances, showing him that greatness doesn't roar. It lives inside the quiet, commanding stillness that audiences can feel without fully understanding. He became the actor Nicholson aspired to emulate, subtle, dangerous, and unforgettable. 2. Al Pacino, the fire that couldn't be tamed. Al Pacino occupies the second spot on Nicholson's list, a man whose energy seemed to spark the air around him. Al doesn't play characters, he erupts into them, Nicholson once said. During the turbulent 1970s, both actors navigated Hollywood's shifting landscape, redefining what intensity could look like on screen. While Nicholson was tearing rules apart in 5 Easy Pieces and One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Pacino was reinventing force in The Godfather and Dog Day Afternoon. Nicholson admired the way Pacino made emotion physically visible, like lightning under the skin, turning every scene into raw, palpable electricity. They never appeared as brothers on screen, but Nicholson felt a familial bond with Pacino in ambition and hunger. Each performance Pacino gave reminded Nicholson that acting could shock, bruise, and haunt long after the credits rolled. The fire Pacino carried taught Nicholson that intensity didn't have to be loud. It could live in the eyes, the trembling hands, or the controlled chaos of a single line. 3. Dustin Hoffman, the truth that changed everything. Dustin Hoffman claimed the 3rd spot on Nicholson's list, a man whose honesty made Nicholson pause in awe. Watching. The Graduate, Nicholson was captivated by Hoffman's ability to make every moment feel precariously real, as if the actor were falling apart slowly in front of the audience. "He acts like he can't afford to lie," Nicholson told a friend. Both men rose through the same decade, seeking truth above polish, precision over pretense. Hoffman's obsessive commitment to craft, his willingness to dissect lines until they bled authenticity, became a lesson for Nicholson. Vulnerability is more powerful than ego. Roles in Midnight Cowboy and Kramer vs. Kramer demonstrated to Nicholson that fear and honesty could fuel extraordinary performances. The lessons Hoffman imparted were subtle yet transformative. True acting demands exposure, courage, and immersion. For Nicholson, studying Hoffman became a masterclass in the art of making nerves visible, and of turning anxiety into cinematic energy that the audience feels in every scene. Hoffman's shadow lingered over Nicholson's career, shaping the honesty that would define his legacy. 4. Paul Newman, the calm that terrified. Paul Newman earned the 4th spot for a reason that surprised many. Nicholson admired him for calm, not chaos. In a career built on explosive energy, Nicholson was fascinated by Newman's ability to make silence feel dangerous. Watching The Hustler, Nicholson saw Newman occupy space effortlessly, making stillness electrifying. While Nicholson tore down walls on screen, Newman demonstrated that control could be just as compelling as volatility. Off-screen, Newman's balance, acting, racing cars, charity work, and quiet charm taught Nicholson a different kind of power. He carried fame like a good driver handles speed. He never lost control, Nicholson said. On film, Newman burned cold and precise, a stark contrast to Nicholson's own style. Yet Nicholson studied that calm obsessively, integrating it into moments where chaos needed restraint. Newman's presence reminded him that true greatness could be understated, disciplined, and quietly magnetic, proving that sometimes the most profound influence comes not from explosions, but from silent mastery. 5. Marlon Brando, the God next door. Marlon Brando was Nicholson's God, the actor who cracked open new possibilities for performance. Living just down Mulholland Drive, Brando's influence was as immediate as it was intense. Nicholson spent years watching Brando in a streetcar named Desire and on the waterfront, studying subtle gestures, tiny smirks, and the way he controlled entire rooms without effort. Working together in the Missouri breaks only deepened Nicholson's admiration. Brando's improvisation, unpredictability, and refusal to conform created chaos for everyone but Nicholson, who learned to adapt and thrive. Off camera, their friendship oscillated between frustration and mutual respect, with Brando borrowing Nicholson's house for privacy and sharing long silences that taught lessons words could not convey. Nicholson called him the storm that cracked open the sky, a mentor who redefined rebellion, precision, and charisma. Every role Nicholson played afterward bore traces of Brando's influence: unpredictability harnessed with skill, passion shaped into control, and chaos molded into art. Brando taught Nicholson that greatness could be both terrifying and sacred. 6. Gene Hackman, the blue-collar genius. Gene Hackman earned Nicholson's final slot for a reason: honesty. Unlike stars who performed with flair or ego, Hackman walked onto a set stripped of pretense, focused and fully immersed. Nicholson admired him as a craftsman whose instinct and preparation were unmatched. In The French Connection, Hackman's raw instinct and quiet intensity left an indelible mark. Nicholson called him the blue-collar genius, a man who made truth contagious and elevated everyone around him. Hackman's performances, whether controlled or explosive, reminded Nicholson of the power of grounded, unembellished acting. Off-screen, Nicholson trusted Hackman to carry a film if needed, not because they mirrored each other, but because Hackman's presence demanded honesty. When Hackman retired in 2004, Nicholson felt the loss profoundly, noting that Hollywood had lost a heartbeat. Hackman gave Nicholson a model for how restraint, focus, and truth could transform a performance, proving that subtle mastery could rival, and sometimes surpass, theatrical flamboyance. Conclusion: the legacy of influence. Jack Nicholson's career is a testament to the power of admiration, observation, and disciplined study. The 6 actors he revered, Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, Dustin Hoffman, Paul Newman, Marlon Brando, and Gene Hackman, were not merely idols but mirrors reflecting the highest possibilities of craft and commitment. Each taught him a distinct lesson: De Niro in silence, Pacino in fire, Hoffman in truth, Newman in calm, Brando in rebellion, and Hackman in grounded precision. Through their examples, Nicholson learned to channel intensity without losing control, to embrace chaos without sacrificing subtlety, and to make vulnerability as compelling as bravado. Their influence allowed him to shape a unique cinematic voice that balanced raw emotion with meticulous craft. Beyond his accolades and iconic performances, Nicholson's genius lies in his ability to absorb these lessons and transform them into something entirely his own. His career demonstrates that true greatness in acting is never solitary. It is built on respect, inspiration, and the courage to learn from those who came before. In understanding these 6 mirrors, we glimpse the foundation of a legend.